Hey, how are you, family? Hi, I am Janelle, and welcome to the Prayer Cafe. How you doing? Come on in and take a seat. Make sure that you have your coffee. Mine's is hot. That's if you want coffee. Sometimes people come to the Prayer Cafe, they get iced coffee. Sometimes people come to the Prayer Cafe, they don't get anything. They just get their work done, or they come to chat with friends or hang out or whatever. But I'm here today and I have my coffee. So if you want to get coffee, go ahead and get it. I'm actually drinking new coffee today. It is called uh caramel. It's caramel Starbucks, but with caramel latte creamer, which is really good. Coffee is my favorite part of the day, which is one cup a day. I don't drink 50 million cups as I would be on speed all day. But it's one cup a day and it feels good going down. So if you don't have your coffee, go ahead and get it. Um, so while you're doing that, I'm gonna go ahead on and just talk a little bit. If you have not liked my Facebook page or subscribed to my YouTube page, go ahead on and do that right now. Just click that button, Janelle J. Robinson. If you want to send me an email, if you want to send me a prayer request or you have any suggestions that you would like for me to teach on or topics, send me an email at janellejrobinson1@gmail.com and I will be sure to look over those things and get back to you as soon as possible. Okay, so now that you have your coffee and I have mine, let's get started. So, the topic that I want to teach you about today, I put my coffee to the side for a little bit. The topic that I want to teach you about today is how to have a balanced life. There are many times, and I don't know if there are many times that we get off track. I don't know if you ever felt like this, which I felt like a lot of times. And I wouldn't be teaching you about it if I have not felt this way. Excuse me, I'm sorry, there go that coffee. So do you ever feel like you have lost control? Or is your to-do list extremely way too long? Or do you feel like you are too busy, but you are not really accomplishing anything? You're just busy being busy. Or are you burnt out? Or tired or have like headaches or just extremely emotional, stressed out? Or do you feel like you have lost your direction or your way? Or you're just living out somebody else's schedule? Because people will do that to you. They will put their stuff on you and you'll be living out their schedule and not your own. Or if you just feel like you just don't have the balance that you need. Well, today I'm going to teach you how to have that balance. And again, I would not be teaching you these things if I haven't gone through them myself. So the first thing you want to do is you want to put God first. So in Proverbs 3:5-6, it says to trust in the Lord with all your heart. That means you're putting all your weight on him and you're leaning not to your own understanding. You're putting all your weight on him. In all your ways, acknowledge him and he will make your path straight. So you're acknowledging him in every single thing that you do. And he is going to make your way straight. He's going to direct you and tell you which way to go. He's going to tell you what to do. He's going to tell you what to say. He's going to tell you how to say it. He's going to tell you which way to go and which direction to take. That's what that scripture means to me. So the first step to that is to pray. So when you are under God's direction, you can accomplish the impossible tasks. Like there would be nothing that you could not accomplish if you are being directed by God. So, and I want you to remember this one phrase. Real service requires that we walk with him and talk with him. So, if you're serving God, the only way to effectively do that is to talk with him and walk with him. Hear me when I say that. Talk with him so that you can walk with him. Okay, that's step number 1. Here's step number 2. Be very clear about your assignment. Then you will be able to evaluate what is or is not important. So if you are walking with God and you're talking with him, then you're going to be clear about what it is that you are called to do. Because then you won't be busy doing nothing. Busy just being busy. A lot of us are busy just being busy. So if you're walking with God, then he's going to tell you what to do. Then you're going to be walking in your purpose, walking in your assignment. So here's another thing to that. Is it okay to tell people no? Yes, it's okay to tell people no. I know that once I really realized what my assignment is and what it is that God was calling me to do, it allowed me to eliminate all the things in my life that was not aligned to that. And so once you realize that, you can tell people no, because people will come your way. They know that you are a hard worker. They see that you're walking in a certain direction. They see your spiritual gifts. They see you operating in that. And then they will naturally come to you and say, will you, or can you, or I just need a small favor, or we always can count on you, or you are so good at. When you hear these sayings, you can either feel like you're flattered. I felt like that before. Oh, yeah, they need me. And I feel flattered. I'm like, oh, God, oh, thank you. And then at times, I did say yes. And then I felt like my plate was just too full, because here I am carrying out the things that God wants me to do, and then I'm carrying all their stuff too. You can't do that, because then that's when you feel like you're overwhelmed. That's when you become annoyed, or you feel like you're being used. So it's important to understand that you can say no. You don't have to feel pressured or give an immediate response when somebody is coming to ask you something. You can always say to them, let me think about it. Because maybe the thing that they're coming to ask you, maybe that is aligned to God's will, or God's assignment for you. But maybe you just need time to go back and pray about it and ask God what it is that he needs for you to do concerning that thing that person asks you to do. And then if God will say either, yes, I need you to help that person, or no, this is not the right time for that. So it's okay to say no. So saying no helps us to reduce the stress, and it gives us the yes power that we need. It's okay to say no. I don't know who I'm talking to today, but you always feel like you have to say yes to everybody to please everybody, because maybe you want acceptance, or maybe you feel bad if you say no, or maybe you're looking for somebody to be your friend, or maybe you don't want nobody to walk out on you. I don't know what it is, but no assignment is greater than God's assignment for you, and one person can't handle everything. So it's okay to say no. I had to learn that early in my ministry. I remember early on in ministry, I just felt like I had to be at every church event. I felt like I had to be at every church meeting, And I felt like I had to do everything for everybody. And one day I went to my pastor and I told my pastor, I just can't do all of this. Like, I was assigned to the intercessory prayer ministry, and of course they want you to be at all these church meetings, all these church events, and all of those things because you are a minister on staff. And I went to my pastor and I told him I couldn't. I had a baby at home, and he was only 2 years old. Then I had my other children and my husband, and I felt like I was spending way too much time at the church and not time on my family. And so here's the thing. There's an order in Christ. There's Christ first, then your family, your job, then ministry. And my life was completely out of order. So don't allow somebody to take your life out of order. That's why it's important to have a strong foundational relationship with God, because your acceptance comes from Him and not from man. And then that way you will be able to evaluate what you need to put in your life and what you need to take out of your life. Okay? So that's just a nugget that I want to share with you. Number 3. Plan with the end in mind. What is your end goal? What do you really want to accomplish? And make a schedule and stick to it. So I'm going to give you a little example. Last year in January, not this year past, but January 2019, I decided to start a weight loss program called Weight Watchers, because everything else that I was doing before, it just was not working for me. So I decided I needed some accountability. So I went to Weight Watchers, and I would go to my meetings and I would do all those things. I was 190 something pounds, y'all. It may not seem like it, but I was, and it was just too much for me. And I was dealing with high blood pressure issues and all of that. I felt like I was walking up the steps, I was going out of breath, and it just became too much. So I decided to do a weight loss program. Well, I started off good with, losing 2 pounds here, 2 pounds there, 2 pounds there. But I decided this is the one thing that changed my life. I decided to plan out my weeks. My week, not my weeks, but my week. So I would get up on Saturday morning and I would go to the store and I would get everything that I needed for the week. I would get my breakfast stuff, my lunch stuff, my dinner stuff. And then on Sundays, I would cook all of my meals for dinner for the whole entire week. Put them in containers and put them in the refrigerator, so I wouldn't have to figure out what I was eating. Then I would pack my lunch every night before I went to bed. I would pack my lunch and put it in my lunchbox. I would put my lunch in my lunchbox, my snacks in my lunchbox, so I wouldn't have to go to the vending machine and get sodas or candy bars or cookies or any of those things, and I'll put them in my lunchbox. I even put my breakfast in my lunchbox too, because I eat breakfast when I get to work. And I would stop at RaceTrac and get coffee because that's what I like to do. The point that I'm trying to make is that I lost the weight. So now I was 190. Now I'm down to like 165. I lost all those pounds because I had a plan. I had a goal in mind that I was trying to accomplish, and I am accomplishing the goal. 5 more pounds to go and I will reach my goal, which would be 160. And I'm still on that track. So what I'm trying to say to you is that you have to have a goal in mind. You have to know what it is that you're trying to accomplish and stick with it. You have to have the schedule, because if you don't have a schedule, you're going to get off track. I promise you. So here's another way that I try to keep my goals in mind. So this is my schedule. Here's my schedule for June. I make sure that I make sure that I put in my calendar everything that I have to do. And everything on here aligns with my assignment. If it does not align with my assignment, I don't put it on here. If it's going to be too much for me and it's going to take me off track, I don't put it in my calendar. I promise you, I don't. So make sure that you know what your end goal is, what is your end result. Okay, because if you don't, you're going to get off track. Number 4, keep your eyes on the prize. In 1 Corinthians 9:24-25, it says, do you know that in a race all runners run, but only one gets a prize? Everyone competes in the games, goes into strict training. So, you got to keep your eyes on the prize. I remember when my daughter, she's an athlete, and I remember when she was in high school, I remember my husband and I driving her to practices all week long. Her working out. I remember her getting up in the morning, running around like outside. Sometimes she would run with her dad. She wasn't running with me because I'm not a runner. I probably need to run. Maybe that would get more weight off. I'm not there yet. But I remember her doing that. I remember her watching workout videos. I remember her watching what she ate and doing all of those things because she had an end result in mind. And so here's the end result for her. She wanted to get a scholarship to go to college. And she wasn't just playing on one basketball team, which is her high school team, but she was also playing on an AAU team. So she was doing double duty. Well, all of that hard work paid off, and she was able to get a full scholarship to the university of her choice. Actually, she had 12 universities looking at her at one time offering her the scholarship. So the point that I'm trying to make is that when you have an end goal, you got to put in the work. You got to keep your eyes on the prize. We have a goal, and we have to be disciplined in order to carry out the assignment that God has for us. So you and I can't be distracted by the things that do not matter. If they don't matter, take your eyes off of it. Keep your eyes on the prize. And so here's the thing. The enemy knows that you have an assignment. He knows what you're called to do. And he will throw all types of distractions in there to get you off track. But you got to be smart enough and diligent enough to stay focused and keep your eyes on the prize. You have to remain focused at all times. And the only way you're going to do that is to stay connected with God, hear his voice, and do what it is that he's asking you to do. Remember, people who run in races or play sports, think about the coaches, think about the athletes who listening to their coach on the sideline, and their coach is saying, go do this, go do that, get this, go that place, go that place. Think about it that way. Think about the person that's in the race. They can hear their coach on the sidelines. Like, you have to learn how to block out everybody else's voice and hear your coach, which is God, on the sidelines, helping you to win the race. So stay focused. Number 5, you got to be willing to put in the work. You're not going to be able to carry out this assignment sitting around doing nothing. You can't sit around being idle, watching TV all day long, or just absolutely laying around, being lazy, doing nothing. If you want to win the prize, you got to put in the work. People often say to me, and I hear this a lot at work. I hear this a lot at work. And I've told you guys many, many, many a times that teaching is not a job for me. It is my assignment. I hear people say all the time, you do too much. You do too much. Well, you may think I do too much, but teaching is a passion for me. It is my assignment. It's something that I enjoy doing. So I put in the work because I know it's my assignment and what God called me to do. So I do what's necessary and what's best for kids and what's best for people. So you got to be willing to put in the work. You will never accomplish the goal if you don't put your hand to the plow. You can't produce if you are not doing anything. You got to have good work ethics. Hustle and get it done. You can balance your work life, family life, church life, and serve the way that God chooses to use you to serve if you maximize your time. You can get it done. I promise you, you can get it done. Here's number 6. My last and final step. Acknowledge and accept that you cannot do it all by yourself. Okay, so this is my assignment. Don't want my coffee to get cold. This is my assignment, but God strategically has placed people in my life to help me to carry out the assignment. So don't think that you have to do this all alone. So God is strategically placing people in your life and in your path to help you carry out this thing that He has called you to do. You don't have to do it by yourself. This reminds me of the story of Nehemiah. Now, Nehemiah, he was a prayer warrior. So if you have not read the story of Nehemiah, you should go back and read it. He was a prayer warrior. And he prayed often and frequently with God. He did not do anything without God. He was also the king's cupbearer. So this reminds me of his story. Nehemiah prayed because he was grieving that the walls of Jerusalem were broken. And I'm just going to quickly tell this story because I don't want to go so long. Well, he prayed about it, and God led him to go talk to the king about it. And then he laid all of his concerns before the king. And then the king asked him, what is it that he could do to help? And Nehemiah said, I just need a letter, a letter to take to the other king. And the king gave him the letter, but he also sent people with him. And so the point that I'm trying to make is when God calls you and He gives you an assignment, He will place people strategically in your life to help you carry out the assignment. Like, you don't have to do it alone. Here is my example. God has called me to a new assignment, and it's a really challenging task for me, new territory for me, but I can do it because I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me. But God has placed someone strategically in my life to help me carry out the assignment. I don't have to do it by myself. And so I humbly accept the assignment. See, pride will make you think like you got this, you can do it by yourself, you don't need nobody, but that's not true. I do need people, and I cannot do this by myself. It takes a village. It takes people united together to carry out the assignment that God has called you to do. So I'm grateful for that. So I know that this was a lot today. because normally I'm done within like 15 minutes or whatever. But this was a heavy topic because a lot of us are struggling with balance. A lot of us are busy being busy doing nothing that matters. And so today I wanted to teach you how to have balance. And I wanted to teach you the steps to take to have healthy balance and to do something that matters. Stop being busy being busy. Your life has purpose and you have an assignment. And it's your job to figure out what that assignment and that purpose is. And the only way that you can do that is to get connected to God. So, thank you for coming today to the Prayer Cafe. I hope that you learned something today, because I know that I have, and I hope that this message was a blessing to you. Have a blessed and fantastic Sunday. Enjoy your family and spend some time, getting to know getting to know God, and spending some time getting to know your family, and having fun with them, because that is a part of your balance. Don't get so caught up in doing all of these things that your family is not important. Make sure you set some time aside for your family as well. So I will see you Wednesday for midweek check-in at 5:00. And I look forward to seeing you every Sunday here at the Prayer Cafe. Again, like my Facebook page, Janelle J. Robinson, and subscribe to my YouTube page, Janelle J. Robinson, and drop me some lines in my email at JanelleJRobinson1@gmail.com if you want to send a prayer request. Have a blessed day, family, and enjoy your day.